Like money, like where's the money gonna go? Like we buried him that day with no money, he had tons of money. At home he probably had at least 4, 5, 600 K in cash. I couldn't go out regularly because my mom was strict, so I could only go out and do this stuff if I told her I'm spending that night in my friend's house, and my friend's parents didn't care. So my mom would call the parents and be like, okay, make sure they're in bed by 9. The parents would be like, si, señorita, and then they'd be like, do whatever. So we'd be out, so whatever. So Saturday night was like our big night, right? Yeah. So Saturday night, I had it set up for this girl, and another girl gave me a number, and she was better looking. So I was like, look, I'm going to have to take. So one of my friends was like, hey, give me the other one. You take one. I said, all right, here's a number for you. I'll take the other. So it was like that. So the way it kind of worked, like you would show up, you would call them, page them, and then a girl would come out, meet you at a payphone or whatever, and she would take you wherever and do whatever. So turned out it was a setup to kill me. By an enemy gang. Yeah, this was, we used to have these back and forth because gangs would go at it. Gangs like Logan Heights, gangs like that were well established, from centuries, right? These are gangs that have been around since maybe the 40s and 50s. Like, this is not new gangs. Like, these are generational. Like there's the White Fans or 18th Street or all these gangs in LA. These were Pachucos before. If you look at the history of Mexican gangs, they've been around, right? So their wars have also been around back and forth between them. So basically, the girl was a plant, right? So she wasn't really interested in me. Yeah. I was gonna show up, and it was by name designed for me, right? But as Allah would have it, qadar, your fate or destiny, whatever you want to call it, it wasn't meant for me to die that day. So even though I was planning on going, ended up that my friend went instead of me. And when he got there to the payphone and called her, she said, hey, I'll be right out. Instead of her coming out, a bunch of guys came out with guns and just, while he was in the booth, they just shot him up.
Holy shit.
Yeah, he got 9 bullets, one through the hand, a few in the chest, one straight to the head. So that was supposed to be me.
Jeez.
So that was definitely the wake-up call. That was okay, you know what, man, what's life about? So when I found out the next day, I was like, you're lying, bro. When they called me, they're like, he's dead. I was like, bro, you're lying. Like, you got to be joking. Like, this can't be. And I just started thinking, like, what am I doing in my life? Like, what am I doing? So when I went to the funeral, it was tough, man. You were putting him in the coffin, and they wanted to do an open casket, so his head had been blown off, so they had to like plastic it and put like fake hair and put makeup to fix holes, and you're looking at him and it just looks horrible, and you start thinking, I'm supposed to be laying there, and he was 20 at the time, I was 18, and I just started thinking, like, I'm 18 and I'm supposed to be there, and how many of my friends are already buried in the same graveyard? So what are we doing this for? Like, money? Like, where's the money gonna go? Like, we buried him that day with no money, he had tons of money. At home he probably had at least 4, 5, 600 K in cash, right? He had, everything you could think of, from clothes to shoes to, at that time, whatever people thought was like, but none of it went with him. Like, we didn't bury his money or his clothes or his bling or any of that with him. We used to have the 64 Impala that we had bought together as, we used to put our money together, and it had like gold rims and had hydraulics and woofer systems. It was like pearl paint job. We used to take it to a place called Highland Avenue. That's like the San Diego cruising place. And but that day his brothers were driving it. Like, it didn't go with him. He had all kinds of girls. He had 13 kids from different girls.
Holy crap.
Yeah, he was popular. But each one of those baby mamas were crying on somebody else's shoulder. Like, he left all those kids behind. He left his family. His mother was sitting there crying over his dead body. And that day I was like, all right, man, I gotta get out of this stuff. There's no point in it, right? The money's not worth it. The girls, the fame, Nothing goes with you. So what's life about? Like, why am I on earth? So even though I'm from a Muslim family and I was born in a Muslim family, but I didn't really think about Islam first because I was used to going to the church. So I kind of went to the church. I went like on a mission. I went back and I was like, look, I'm really serious. Like, I want to learn. And, you know, like everything they taught me didn't make sense. And every question I had was either it's a mystery or don't ask, or it was like one of those really, like, you were really stretching to try to answer things, you know. And I was like, it doesn't make sense. So I thought, all right, let me look into other religions. So I went to like Barnes & Noble. I went to like bookshops. I went to used thrift stores. I just bought up every book of every religion that I could find. And again, like, I mean, I wasn't dumb. Like, I could read, I could comprehend. I was just caught up in that stuff, right? So I would go through books like crazy. You know, I would go through books like, you know, like I would sit down and just finish a good big thick book in a day. You know?
Wow.
And there was a place called Mesa College, you know. So I started taking some classes. I tried to, like, you know, get away from doing all that other nonsense. And I would just go to the library and just lock myself in a room and just read. And I started reading like Hindu literature, and like it didn't really make sense. You know, there were multiple gods, but it was one God. But then like God was this like blue guy. And then like I read Mahabharata, and they had a story of Ram and Sita, how Ram was a god, but his wife Sita got kidnapped and he couldn't like get her back until he got monkeys to help him. And I was like, a god that can't even get his wife back? I was like, oh, I'm done with that. Like Buddhism, like I started reading a lot. It sounded really cool, but then it was like, yeah, even if your wife's getting killed, you can't repel violence with violence. You just meditate. I was like, what? Somebody attacks my mom in front of me. You think I'm going to meditate? Hell no, bro. I'm going to defend my mom, you know?
Yeah.
Because a lot of the things like people say, they don't mean. And I hate that. Like, I say what I mean and I mean what I say. Like, that's what I'm about. Like, I'm not going to fake it. Like, you know, people like, turn the other cheek. You know, I was in the UK. The video's online. I'll send you the clip.
Yeah.
And this Christian preacher, street preacher guy came up, and he was like, he was trying to get this other Jewish gentleman who was telling him that Jesus was just another Jew, but he was trying to get him on his side during the debates. He tells him, look, us as Christians and Jews, we turn the other cheek. These Muslims are violent. And I was like, wait, what? Like, we're not violent, first off. Like, you know, we're peaceful people, but we're not going to let somebody violate us. That's true. But would you turn the other cheek? He's like, yeah, that's what the Bible teaches us. I said, all right, so let me slap you right now. Like, I'm going to, bam, like, I'm going to knock you a good one, and let's see you turn the other cheek. And he's like, no, don't. I was like, why not? Like, if that's what you're preaching, then that's what you should be living. If you talk the talk, walk the walk. But that's what it is. Like, people say stuff, but they don't mean it. They're not really going to turn the other cheek. They just say that, right? And I'm not about that. That's hypocrisy to me. So even Buddhism, like, I read it seemed like a good philosophy, but it wasn't really practical. Like, if you live by Buddhism, how are you going to run a country? How are you going to have an army? How are you going to defend your borders? You can't, right? So that means it's not practical, right? So I was like, I'm done with that. I went to Kingdom Halls. I went to every kind of church. I studied the Latter-day Saint Christian, which is commonly called Mormons. I studied, you know, the Book of Mormon. Whatever I could get my hand on, I studied. And in the end, Islam was the only thing that made sense. Like, one God, okay, that made sense. I mean, if we had multiple gods, they'd be battling over whether it should be night or day, and that doesn't make sense, right? Look at the universe in the same perfect manner, you know, rotations of the stars in the same way. Everything's made out of cells. Like, it shows there's one creator. It made sense. The message of Jesus is beautiful. Right? He told people to be good, not to kill, not to steal. The message of Moses is beautiful. The message of Abraham is beautiful. The message of Muhammad is beautiful. Peace and blessing be upon all of them. I saw a commonality in it, right? Like, don't worship idols, like the 10 Commandments, right? I, as a Muslim, live by the 10 Commandments. Don't worship idols. Worship one God. Hear, O Israel, your Lord is one. Qul huwallahu ahad. Like, it's all the same, right? So to say that the same God inspired Abraham, Moses, Jesus, Muhammad, peace be upon all of them, to love all of them, not to hate, not to, you know, you're never going to see me disrespecting a Bible. You never see me eating a Bible. You never see me burning a Bible, because I respect the literature of other faiths. Even if I don't believe in it, doesn't mean that I should show disrespect to it. You'll never see a Muslim making cartoons or mocking Jesus, because we love Jesus. So I love Jesus. Jesus calls himself a prophet. his followers called him a prophet. The people that saw his miracles in the Bible that the Christians have today, they called him a prophet, right? So nowhere in the Bible does Jesus ever explicitly come out and say, I am God. Like God, the one above, the one that sent Jesus, does. And Jesus tells that God, you are the only true God, and Jesus Christ is whom you have sent in their Bible today. So that made sense, you know. So being accountable for your deeds, as Muslims, I believe you have accountability. Like, I don't think my deeds are going to be good enough to get me into heaven. That's the mercy of God. But I do believe that even as a Muslim, on the day of judgment, I will be taken to account for what I've done. Because, I mean, can you imagine that no accountability? Like, that doesn't make sense. And you'd be a, you know, child raping, you know, Epstein and go to heaven? Like, nah.
Yeah.
Hitler believed in Jesus. Does that mean he should go to heaven just because he believed? No. I think people should be held accountable.